Good evening. Phyllis St. Laurent here with the Infinity Keys. It's Wednesday, November 26th, and we're just doing a quick discussion about the keys and the frequency of the keys. And for more information, you can go to www.theinfinitykeys.ca with our contact information and everything else. Joining me tonight is Patty and Christy. And we're going to talk about, because we have 4 keys, we're going to talk about how we choose them and maybe in our next installment, a little bit more about what the different frequencies do in a little more detail. So the 4 keys are geared to Hertz, 432 Hertz, 40.5 Hertz, 528 Hertz, and 741. Now, if you're familiar with meditation music, or you'll be a little more maybe aware of frequencies, and or can get some more information from the website. So I guess I'll start because I was working with the inventor, and I received the first key, which um, was the 432 Hertz. Okay, so that was the first key, and that's the key he made. And it's made out of copper tube with some copper wires twisted to yin, along with some shungite and crystal powders and magnets on both sides. And this gathers the ambient electricity in the air, charges the copper and the wires to the frequency of 432. And for me, it was quite simple. I just kind of moved along as the news type came up and added them to my collection. And so that took over about 9 months. And so I have all 4 of the keys. And we're going to talk about if you have all 4, or how did you get the first one, and we'll go from there. So, Patty, how about yourself? Uh, can you share with
yeah, well,
us?
the first key that I had received was the 432. So that was my initial, experience with the keys. And within a month and a half, I found myself, acquiring all 4 of them.
Okay.
And I do wear 1 to 2 every day, and I choose them just by laying them out. I clear them and lay them out, and just kind of quiet my spirit, um and then I just kind of wave my hand over top, and just whichever one kind of calls to my hand, that's what my body, or the frequency that my body needs that day, and that's how I choose.
Awesome. And how about you, Chrissy?
The first key that I received was the 40.5. Um, it wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 months later that I received the 432, which became the cornerstone of me working with the keys.
Mhm.
Um, the next key that I got was the 528. I wear the 40.5 and the 432 basically 24/7, except because that's what I feel called to do. The 44.5 gives me clarity and helps me, remember things. Honestly, I have remembered things much easier since I started using wearing the 40.5. And the 432 helps to ground me and also connect me to basically the outside energies that affect me positively, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Now,
And
do you have a little story you told me about earlier?
oh yes, with the 40.5 today, at work, I was having to do a composition where basically they're retesting me for what I do for work. And I remember thinking that the 40.5 helps with cognitive and memory and functionality and all of that stuff. So on the way there, I literally had it in my hand, was with focusing my energy on it. And it went successful. Like it went like far easier than I even thought it would possibly go. I was able to remember what I needed to remember in the moment. So
Wow. And you basically wear the two and then does the 520, what is the 520? Do you pick it up occasionally or is there a specific reason?
I pick it up occasionally. I found that with the 528, the energy shifts it brings me are a little bit too much for my body to handle long term.
Okay.
So I go in spurts. Sometimes randomly I find myself picking it up and playing with it a little bit. Oftentimes I feel called to, during our meetings,
Okay.
mess around with the 528. I don't know if it's more of a kind of maybe a safety thing for me, since it is kind of a little bit for me, and so like more energy, good energy to help me get through it. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. And Patty, you told us how you pick your keys now that you have all four of them. And do you have a little story that you could share today?
No, I sure will. Yeah, primarily I've been, choosing the 432, or it's been choosing me, however you want to look at it. But in the last couple of weeks, I've had a heightened level of stress in my life. And I found that, by wearing the 432 and literally putting it in my hand, and then doing breath work, like pulling the breath in through my crown chakra as well as my mouth, and putting it in and breathing it through, within a couple of breaths, I tend to, I think with the frequency involved with the breath work, has amplified the ability to kind of recenter my nervous system, and bring whatever is causing me that stress, to bring it back into center.
And you're grounding, and that's one of the parts, one of the aspects, the benefit of the 432, right? Wow, that's great. Myself, as I said, I've got all four of them. I went through about a 2.5, 3 months section where I just wore all four. And since the last couple of weeks, I now like I usually wear the 741. I don't know why, because I've had the 432 and the 40.5 for a long time. If I'm sitting down and I'm trying to rewrite something or whatever, I'll put the 40.5 on, right? But today I wore the 432 because I was going to the gym and I seem to be really attracted to, and I asked my body, which one it wants. And I just ask, okay, which frequency do you want today? And I go through them and it'll tell me a yes or a no. And so, but I seem to be lately the 741. And today it was the 432. But when I'm sitting at my computer and doing some work on all this stuff, I always have them nearby. The other two, they're right next to me. I'm just not wearing them on my body. Now, I would like to say to everybody who sees this that we actually have protocols how you can use it for where you have pain in your body and how you get to integrate the energy of the key. And as we'll get some information to you about the frequencies, what each frequency does, so that if you have certain issues, you can work with a key. It's recommended in most instances that you start with the 432. And some people just like Patty said, she had her first one for a while. Then she just wanted all of them because she wanted to be able to choose. And so I thank everybody who's listening tonight, and hopefully this will be beneficial. We'll send this out to the WhatsApp group. And in the meantime, anybody from the video, watching the video, please, just check out our website that's mentioned at the beginning and get a hold of us, and we'll gladly give you some more information. Ladies, thank you for participating tonight. I want to stop the video.